Also, I was particularly happy to see you on Twitter fighting the traitors in our own midst that you've been talking about since your very first book. You talked about Tulsi Gabbard. You said, what an embarrassment to our mental health system. She managed to slip through the cracks of military fitness and now has serious unresolved issues with reality. You responded to one of her tweets by saying, are these the biolabs the ancient aliens told you about, Tulsi? Are the aliens in the room with us now? You, Hillary, Kamala, any number of people tried to warn us about Tulsi Gabbard, right?
Good God. Yeah, I mean, what's the best part? Is that Mitch McConnell actually had to come up with the definitive word on Tulsi Gabbard, which, if I'm not mistaken, what did he call her? A traitorous, a treasonous nut or something along that line?
Yeah.
She has issues.
Yeah.
She has major issues. And she does not seem to think America is worth defending. But some of our biggest traitors have been people in the armed forces.
Yeah.
Benedict Arnold, George Lincoln Rockwell.
You quoted Michael
Flynn.
Michael Flynn said Ukraine's independence is not vital to the United States. And you said, in my humble opinion, Russia had to have turned this guy when he was fired from DIA. He's now an open cheerleading waiting asset of the GRU, bought for the rock bottom cheap price of $40,000 in dinner with Putin. I mean, there's no other way to explain it, is there?
Well, I just want to know what he got with that dinner, because that man's in love. Yeah. I mean, it must have been good, but it's a serious issue here. We have Americans who are openly espousing collaborating with our enemies.
Yeah. I mean, I keep saying it. I don't know legally what it slips through the cracks. We're not technically at war, that this is not treason, but you've got a Kremlin memo saying play Tucker Carlson as much as possible on Russian state TV. I mean, what do you call that, Malcolm?
Well, I mean, you would call, and many other times you call them collaborators. You would call them quislings. You would call them fifth colonists. You would call them, what's the word for it in French? Pétanistes. They're just people who have sided with Russia. And it's in their, mentally, they see nothing wrong with Russia.
Marjorie Taylor Greene she just used the term NATO Nazis. She used the term NATO.
What?
Yeah.
Yes. This is true.
I mean, I don't even know what to say anymore. That because it's not just. I mean, look at the entire right wing, the whole thing you study, Malcolm. The whole QAnon, the threat assessment of our violent right wing groups here. I mean, they didn't know what to do because, they've all loved Putin for so long. They didn't know what to do with this whole thing. And they didn't like the denazification because many of them are Nazis, as you know. So then when they stumbled out of the biowebs, they're like, oh, yeah, we're down with this because that's right. It's Fauci and right. I mean.
And anyone that is advocating any of this is just crazy. And we should just start going back and calling her QAnon crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, if she's calling it NATO Nazis, you're just a straight up traitor. I mean, we made NATO. We invented it. It is an American
to fight Nazis,
to defend democracy from communists. Why doesn't she just go to her homeland in Moscow and live under a stairwell with, in a cupboard with Edward Snowden?
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely. Another person you warned us about. All right, Malcolm, thank you so much from your special assignment with your really bad phone. We love you, and we'll see you next week. Thank you, honey.
Thanks, Malcolm.
There he goes. All right. Bye-bye.